Hello everyone, and welcome to your second royal reading today, a Saturday here at MadWorldTarot. Today we are looking at risky business, security things. We've had the strange DoorDash from Prince Harry in the previous reading. I'm returning to the living Nostradamus now with the tarot, the Wandering Star Tarot. And we've looked at the living Nostradamus a couple of times. He had things to say about Meghan Markle, then he had things to say about Harry after the BBC interview. I've looked at some of those, but one I left out, and I left it out deliberately because it didn't feel like the time was right to read on it, but the time is right now. We're going to be looking at the security warning that the living Nostradamus had for Prince Harry. The living Nostradamus being the Brazilian Athos Salome. I know there are a couple of living Nostradamuses around, but we're talking about this Brazilian guy, Athos Salome, and he said that something is going to happen to Prince Harry. He warned Prince Harry that between July and September of this year, 2025, Harry will face, and I'm quoting, a serious security risk that will lead him to postpone a humanitarian mission in Africa. And the ordeal will initiate a public reassessment of his vulnerability. So, according to this guy, there is actually a real threat to Prince Harry. Something is going to happen, and as a result of whatever it is, this terrible ordeal, people are going to reappraise the security arrangements for Harry. So we're going to have a look at this. We're going to ask, is Harry in danger, and if so, from whom? We're going to ask if something is going to happen within that time frame, an ordeal going to happen to Harry or to someone else in the family. It sounded as if it was Harry directly, but I just want to confirm that it's not someone else. Meghan, children, that sort of situation. I'm going to ask that question. Then I'm going to ask what will be, if this does happen as predicted by the living Nostradamus, what will be the impact for Harry's security arrangements and IPP status? Is he going to get the thing that he's been banging on about for years? And for him personally, what will be the outcome for him? Ooh, and cards have gone flying off the table. They haven't done that for a while. When I asked that question, they went flying. I'm going to have to crawl under the tarot table. Tells me there's lots of energy in that question. Righty-ho, and I'm back, and I'm going to shuffle the cards in. They were quite interesting cards, but we'll put them back, feed them back in, and shuffle them back in. It tells me twice I've got to shuffle them back in, and then we'll finally get to the reading. One more time, and see what universe... Oh, that was the Four of Swords that I saw flip there, but it's gone. Not a good card if you're looking at security risks and things like that. Let's remind you that this is just tarot, and this is for fun and entertainment, and it is all my opinion and speculation. We just read energy here. We are testing the energy of what the living Nostradamus had to say, warning to Prince Harry about possible security risks later in the year, and that is what we're going to be looking at now. And disclaimer, of course, in the box below. Knight of Cups in reverse, and that could actually be the living Nostradamus's energy. I don't know what sign he is, no idea. Knight of Cups, possibly expressing some sort of, because water is mystical. Water is your intuition and things like that, your feels, but it's not, it's more intuitive than analytical, which would be air. So I'm inclined to believe that it is the living Nostradamus's energy warning Harry, because the card is in reverse, that he's seen something negative that he is warning Harry about. It's interesting that the knight is rather female looking knight in this Wandering Star Tarot. I wonder, when I see that, my spidey senses start. But we'll see what shows up in this reading if I need to reference what my spidey senses were muttering to me when I looked at that card, touched that card. the actual situation we're dealing with now, we are dealing with Page of Pentacles. This is the student card of the tarot. Someone learning, somebody studying, somebody earning, also contracts and things like that. As you can see, talent, skill. What else does it say? Talent, skill, money. It's contracts and negotiations and things like that. So that's quite an interesting energy to show up at the heart of a warning to someone that they need to be more aware of their security, because something is in the energy, something rather threatening, something rather negative or dark is in the energy. Page of Pentacles doesn't tell me that story at all. That can, the Knight of Cups in reverse, but the Page of Pentacles tells me more of a deal being made, which is rather interesting. Given what my spidey senses were telling me with that Knight of Cups, that rather female looking Knight of Cups there in the card, about that situation. Your spidey senses might also be telling you similar kind of stories. I don't think I'm going to articulate it right now. I'm trying to avoid articulating it and hoping this reading goes in a completely different direction, quite honestly. So let's have a look. Is Harry at risk currently? Genuinely at risk? Got the King of Swords. King of Swords can be risk, not so much when it's upright, because upright speaks more to me of protection, of police, of armed forces, of people who are around him who are protecting him. Quite high level protection with that King of Swords. It doesn't get higher. Lots of information that the King of Swords would have access to, even though a lot of Harry's grievance in the security case, which he's just lost, was about not having access to adequate information, secret kind of information, confidential stuff. But that King of Swords tells me, because it's upright, tells me that he has got quite high level protection. If it was in reverse, I would say I would be very worried to see that card in reverse. But the upright is telling me more the protection is adequate, the access to information, to top level, to really qualified and experienced people it's covered, it's being dealt with, and it's being dealt with in a very efficient way because it's King of Swords. That's how I'm reading that. The next card is, if he's at risk, potentially, let's say, who would be wanting his downfall or wanting to do him harm? Let's ask that question, and again I get a card that I don't want to see. We have the Temperance card for female energy, and the Temperance card is in reverse. Now we know it says guidance, healing, moderation, balance, harmony. You could add to that. It's angelic energy, the Temperance card. When the Temperance card is in reverse, it becomes the Devil. I've now got 3 out of 3 bad energy moments when my spidey senses are saying don't like the energy, don't like the energy, don't like the energy. Female in the Knight of Cups, female in the Page of Pentacles, and I'm getting a kind of a deal. And then I'm getting the Temperance card in reverse, which is the Devil, and it's showing up again as a female energy. The angel has turned into a devil. So what I'm speculating, and well, a part only of what I'm speculating, is that if Harry is at risk, then the energy that is potentially harmful to him could manifest in female form, which he would least expect, because the threats so far as described have been to do with his tours, his 2 tours that he served in Afghanistan, and what he wrote about that in his book Spare. So let's move on from that rather unpleasant energy and let's ask if the living Nostradamus is right in what he's warning Harry about. Is something bad likely to happen to Harry in the next few months? I've got the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is beginnings, travel, okay? And this guy said it's to do with him having to stop a planned humanitarian trip to Africa. Harry has got a lot of problems in Africa at the moment. He's got problems with African parks who've been found guilty of abuse of various unpleasant kinds. He's got problems with Centre Bali. And so it's likely that Harry is going to be travelling to Africa in the next few months to address some of these things, which would be Ace of Wands. Now, Ace of Wands doesn't come across for me as attack energy because it's upright. I wouldn't normally read that as danger. But wands are very fiery, very explosive, and there is a serpent that's entwined itself around that wand. That serpent again speaks to the energy that I have previously referenced in this reading, and you could say a serpent in the bosom. But I'm not seeing the Ten of Swords, I'm not seeing the Tower, I'm not seeing the Four of Swords, I'm not seeing Nine of Wands, I'm not seeing the cards that would normally tell me to be very worried. I'm not getting that energy at all. So let's see if there is going to be some sort of negative event. Is it going to be directed at Harry or someone else? So I'm asking who would be the victim of this. I'm going to say a hypothetical event because I'm not seeing it really showing up. We got the Three of Pentacles. That looks like a Harry, just because it's a ginger and it's got a beard. Three of Pentacles, a team player, enterprise, success, talent again, teaching. It's teams, it's collaboration, it's working together on something. So it could be when Harry, I'm almost getting, and this is how it's making more sense to me, I'm almost getting that they are en route somewhere. Ace of Wands, beginnings, travel, all of that stuff, new enterprise, new initiative, fresh start, Ace of Wands, as part of a team that goes off. It could even happen traveling to Harry. It's not anyone else in the family. I wanted to check that just to be clear that we are talking literally about Harry. He has shown up. He's shown up for me as part of a team going off to do stuff. So if there is something that happens, it's going to be, I think, when this trip is almost underway, the momentum is really building. We've probably heard about it. But again, I'm speculating. I'm trying to read this guy's what he said. I'm trying to pick through the energy here and see if actual harm is going to occur or at least be quite visible or prevented. I'm not really getting it. I'm getting other energy that I don't really want to elaborate on in this reading for obvious reasons. And we're going to say it is just energy I'm reading, and it is just my opinion that I'm expressing here. It's unfortunate energy that's coming through. If something were to happen, let's talk hypothetically, to Harry, how would it affect his IPP status, his security arrangements? Would he get what he wanted finally? Would it all, we got Eight of Pentacles, that's the work card. It says education, achievement, results, hard work. I think bingo or ka-ching even, yes. Because it's working royal. He might get back the status of working royal in a sense to get that security back. So it might have the desired consequences if something were to happen to Harry. I know I can hear you all groaning and rolling your eyes and saying, surely not. I don't think it would be a long-lived solution or a long-term solution. given, who's waiting in the wings in the UK to take over at some stage with all his plans made and whatever. And we know that the people who organise the security for Harry do it on an ad hoc basis. So it might work short term. It might work if Harry is going on working trips, as for instance somebody going off to do something for Centre Bali or for African Parks. There's the working context, Ace of Pentacles. Not every day, not at Mudslide Mansion, not in Montecito. I nearly said Mosquito Coast. Where did that come from? You get the drift. So don't panic. Don't panic. It's interesting, we've got a busy little bee there with a beehive. How interesting. Another female figure in this reading that's supposed to be about our has-been, who is there. He has shown up in this reading, of course. Let's ask how it will impact Prince Harry personally, this hypothetical threat or risk. We've got the Hierophant. Yeah, it's it's coming across as guru and sort of spiritual leader, the Hierophant, which it is about. Tradition, ritual, ceremony, all those things, knowledge, wisdom, such tiny writing, teacher. Yes, I often forget that the Hierophant is the teacher. But it's back in the umbrella of the royal family for working trips. They might say, okay, we're going to make an exception. Pa might shell out, might come to the rescue. I have seen previously that Pa is inclined to come to Harry's rescue. There is Pa as the Hierophant, the teacher, the sage, the guru, the king, all of those things. Pa might cough up to help out, as he has done other members of the royal family, Prince Andrew, for instance. And I think that that's where this is heading. Just like I said with the previous reading, there is a bit of a smell about this reading, a bit of a stench. And that is just my personal opinion. And I'm going to just leave you with that thought. And thank you once again for watching and supporting this channel.